All right, we are going to talk about the first exponent rule. The first exponent rule that we're going to discuss is the zero power rule. So, if I have a base that is raised to the power of 0, it's important for us to remember that this is the base and this is the exponent. So I'm going to explain to you why the zero power rule works. So if I have 5 cubed, what that means mathematically is 5 times 5 times 5. It's the base written down 3 times, multiplied times itself. So we get 125. If I have 5 squared, that would be the base 2 times. And 5 times 5 is 25. If I have 5 to the first power, that's the base written down 1 time, so I just have 5. So if I have 5 to the 0 power, it's telling me that they want me to write down that base of 5 no times. So if I'm not writing anything in there, just like everything in math, if I want to hold its spot, it's going to equal 1. So if anything is raised to the power of 0, the final answer is 1. So that is the rule for any variable or base that's raised to the 0 power. So anything raised to the 0 power equals 1. So let's look at a few. So these are just really basic problems. So if I have x to the 0 power, the base goes away and the 0 goes away, and the whole problem answer becomes 1. Doesn't matter if it's a variable or if it's a number. So 8 to the 0 power, the base and the exponent will both equal 1. One more, h to the 0 power, the base and the exponent go away, and the whole answer becomes 1. If at any point you need to stop it or rewind it in order to write everything down, go ahead and do so. Let's look at a little that are a little more complicated. So our directions are going to be to simplify. So it's important to remember that each of these are separated by a multiplication sign. So I could rewrite this as y to the 4th times x to the 0 power. The reason why it's important to understand that is because the y to the 4th is not going to go away, or it's not going to become 1, because it is not being raised to the 0 power. So the x to the 0 power will go away and become 1. And since 1 times y to the 4th is still y to the 4th, our final answer is just y to the 4th. Let's look at a couple others. So if I have 6a to the 0 power h to the 9th, I'm going to rewrite it so that it's separated out so I can easily see all of my terms. So that 6 isn't raised to 0 power, so I'm going to bring that down. A to the 0 power is going to become 1. And h to the 9th power is going to be brought down into my answer. Then guys, if there is anything that you can evaluate or anything you could type into your calculator, for instance, I know that 6 times 1 is 6. So I can simplify that even more so that my final answer is 6h to the 9th. And let's look at one more. So I have negative 12 times c to the 6th times z to the 0 power. So negative 12 is not going to change. C to the 6th won't change, but 0 to the 0 power is going to become 1. Now, even though that negative 12 isn't directly next to that 1, if I can multiply negative 12 times 1, I have to go ahead and complete that math problem. Because I can reorder this so that they are right next to each other, if you want to. So then negative 12 times 1 is negative 12, and then C to the 6th. So that's our final answer. So that's the 0 power rule. Anything that is raised to the power of 0, the base and the exponent of 0 goes away, and the whole thing becomes 1.